Tonight, copping it from all corners, the new Donald Trump recording that has Republicans reeling in this campaigning crisis. A woman killed as gale force winds splash Victoria. Frightened diners terrorised by a rampaging thief armed with a machete. The Masters Games celebrates 30 years as it kicks off in the Red Centre. And we're on a roll. A third top-end fisher reels in the catch of a lifetime.
This is 9 News with Jonathan Uptin.
Good evening. Donald Trump says he will never drop out of the race for the White House, despite his campaign being thrown into further calamity. A growing number of Republicans are deserting their nominee as more recordings emerge of Trump talking crudely about women.
Just a month out from the election and Donald Trump emerged from Trump Tower today amid extraordinary scandal.
A 2-year-old girl has been caught up in a terrifying armed robbery in a Brisbane coffee shop. The young women were threatened with a machete in 60 seconds of madness. Hurricane Matthew has packed a powerful punch in America's southeast, despite being downgraded to a Category 1 storm. As millions of people begin the task of cleaning up, authorities are warning the danger isn't over.
That's wild.
The hurricane had moved on, and at last the sun broke through in Florida, shining a bright light on millions of dollars worth of storm damage.
Police aren't seeing the funny side of the latest internet craze. Australians dressing up as clowns and carrying weapons. So far, the NT has been spared of any serious incidents, but authorities elsewhere fear the prank could end in real-life horror.
Fright night at Rocky.
Think you're funny?
A clown with a pole at a public toilet. The joke here, this is the latest fad on social media.
I'll show you what happens when you dress up as a clown.
The writer even took to social media to call for calm. Already in Queensland, there's scores of threats from those who think the fad is stupid, to go with the scores of fake videos and scores of attention seekers. There are troubling posts too, like this, a girl who claims she nearly hit one. Everyone's talking about it, including the police. They're warning the clowns and those hunting them that there'll be zero tolerance.
That's why it's important that the Queensland community assist police and make sure that incidences are reported so that police can do their job.
Nash Wallace, 9 News.
The Alice Springs Masters Games have begun, and this year there is extra reason to celebrate. 2016 marks the Games' 30th anniversary and cements it as the second longest running Masters Games in the world.
From the pitch to the pub, it's taken over Alice Springs, the Masters Games, a competition where age is no barrier unless it's on your side.
Well, fine, mostly sunny and once again hot across Darwin City today. 23 degrees the overnight low, 34 degrees today. And as we take a look at the temperatures inland today, a maximum of 38 degrees, but there was a genuine dryness in that air this afternoon. Georgie Chumbley will be joining us in the studio for a detailed look at weather a little later. But in the news ahead, hundreds on board a New York City train as it crashes into a car on the tracks. An exclusive look inside the workshop that's creating some of the most high-tech search aircraft in the world. Plus, a 9 News exclusive. Our new $20 billion defence weapon will take you behind the controls of the F-35. It's that time of the year when the footy season is wrapped up and all eyes turn to Mount Panorama for one of motorsport's great races. Isabelle Mullen joins us now, and Izzy, the Bathurst 1000 delivered again.
It certainly did, Jono. Chaos unfolded in the final stages as the great race delivered one of the most exciting finishes in its history. And at the centre of all the drama was Jamie Whincup, as the Holden driver was involved in a race-deciding crash. And I'll be back with more, including the Kangaroos' inspiring meeting with their predecessors, which galvanised the side ahead of their Four Nations campaign. And they were flying in France. We'll have Brazilian Felipe Toledo's incredible 10-point ride at the World Surf League. That's all coming up shortly, Jono.
Izzy, thank you. See you soon. Still ahead, a would-be bomber's secret arsenal leaves Germany on edge. The Aussie band that sold 16 million albums worldwide, but it's likely you haven't even heard of them. And meet the Flemington veterans saddling up for another Cup Carnival. Isabelle Mullen returns now with more sport, and Izzy, the Kangaroos are on a quest.
They are, Jono. They want to regain the Four Nations crown, and this inspiring get-together with the Green and Gold's former greats may just help them. Plus, the AFL trade period is about to heat up. We'll have the latest next. And Nick Kyrgios claims another career highlight in Japan. Kangaroos star Greg Inglis has failed to travel with the team to Perth as he awaits the arrival of his third child. The Rabbitohs captain is still set to line up against the Kiwis on Saturday, with his wife expected to give birth tomorrow.
Happy to be back in the green and gold, the Kangaroos set out on their month-long quest to regain the Four Nations crown.
There were plenty of cat and mouse games at the Japanese Formula One Grand Prix, but Mercedes driver Nico Rosberg had no time for them, extending his championship lead with a victory. Max Verstappen was second, Lewis Hamilton finished in third, Aussie Daniel Ricciardo was sixth. Nick Kyrgios has won his third ATP Tour title, taking out the Japan Open today. Kyrgios came from a set down against Belgium David Goffin to win the second set 6-3 and then sealing the championship in the third set 7-5. They're calling it the surfing heat of the year. Brazilian Felipe Toledo took on Hawaiian John Florence in an aerial showdown at the Quicksilver Pro in France. And it was Toledo who came out on top, posting a breathtaking 10-point ride. In the women's, Aussie Tyler Wright advanced in her quest for a maiden world title. In the Constellation Cup, the Diamonds have scored their biggest win over the Silver Ferns in 2 years, winning the Constellation Cup opener 68-56 in Sydney. The Diamonds led 32-22 at the main break and maintained their dominance in the third. Caitlin Bassett finished with an astonishing 47 goals. The second match of the series will be played in Launceston on Wednesday. An incredible effort, Jono.
Yeah, it's such a great rivalry. Thank you so much, Izzy. In the news ahead, the latest headlines. Plus, test flying our brand new $20 billion fleet of custom warplanes. Drifting in the wind, a death-defying stunt turns into a mid-air tangle. And the amazing desert concert that united the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan and Sir Paul McCartney. Now to our top stories. The fallout from Donald Trump's tape scandal is worsening, with a growing number of Republicans abandoning the party's presidential nominee. The billionaire will square off against Hillary Clinton in tomorrow's second debate. The 30th Masters Games is underway in the Red Centre. 4,000 athletes are competing in 33 sports. And a third Darwin angler has returned from a fishing trip with a barra and $10,000. This one caught at robbery. The multi-billion-dollar purchase of a new fighter jet for the RAAF, the F-35, has been controversial since its announcement. Until recently, it's been a project shrouded in secrecy. But now, 9 News has been given a close-up look ahead of the jet's arrival in Australia. Georgie Chumbley returns now with all the day's weather. Georgie, will these dry conditions stick around?
So it should remain rain-free, but how much longer can we enjoy this low humidity? After the break, I'll have all those details. Despite just a 10% chance of rain overnight, we got about 5.5 millimetres between 5 and 6 a.m. That dropped the temperature by 4 degrees. But it's climbed back up since then. Right now, it's 30.4 degrees. It feels like 30.7. 34 degrees in the city this afternoon. That rain dropped the temperature to a minimum of 23 degrees. And as we'd expect, it was much warmer away from the coast, 38 in the rural area, but it was dry, just 20% humidity at 3 p.m. In our major centres, Alice Springs reached 36 degrees, 37 degrees in Katherine, and sunny in Brisbane tomorrow, 27 degrees in Sydney, a top of 32 before some cooling showers there. Closer to home, and a southerly change will bring cooler temperatures to the Red Centre, still hot in the north. Darwin Harbour seas will be under a metre, variable winds no stronger than 10 knots, becoming northwesterly in the middle of the day, and low tide tomorrow before the sun comes up, 3.9 metres at 5:47, and your only chance to catch a high tide is at 10:38 a.m. Now, if you're taking advantage of this weather, the next $1 million fish could be lurking in Leaders Creek or the mouth of the Adelaide River. Mackerel are biting off Point Blaze, and there's been a few snapper and jewies caught at Ruby Island. And speaking of jewies, Mark caught this very impressive one on a fishing charter. Congratulations, Mark, because your wife dobbed you in. You are our catch of the day winner. Mostly sunny in the rural area tomorrow, a 10% chance of rain, 38 degrees once again. Now in Palmerston, stifling. Monday's top is 36. And it's a very similar forecast for the city and northern suburbs. Mostly sunny, 25 to 35 degrees. Can we expect any relief? In short, no. Some patchy cloud around Tuesday and Wednesday, but Jono, no sign of cooling rains.
Georgie, thank you. And that's 9 News this Sunday. From all of us here, good night.